Moving on to our next story, we have LGBTQ students sue University of Idaho over alleged discrimination. This comes from the Boise Dev by Sydney Kidd. Up in the frozen north of Idaho, a third lawsuit has been filed against the University of Idaho's College of Law. 3 law students claim university staff have engaged in a pattern of discrimination. This includes professors telling LGBT students they will go to hell, giving the contact information of LGBT students to anti-LGBT groups, and professors ignoring students making racist comments. The students claim the university responded weakly to these incidents, making them feel unsafe. The plaintiffs also claim they received harassment from a group of students involved in the school's Christian Legal Society chapter, which filed a free speech lawsuit in 2022 against UI. The federal lawsuit claims CLS is opposed to same-sex marriage, LGBTQ relationships, and it is said that its members believe religious organizations should be allowed to discriminate against individuals based on sexual orientation and gender identity. The lawsuit asserts that the university did not adequately respond to the harassment, perpetuating the problem. The students reported incidents to various deans and the Office of Civil Rights and Investigations. The law school's dean, Johanna Kolb, to whom students say they repeatedly reported issues without much response, is stepping down from her UI role at the end of the spring semester. One of the plaintiffs has since transferred out of UI's College of Law. The other 2 did not transfer due to the prospect of losing class credits. They opted instead to attend school on an entirely remote basis. One also graduated from the school in December 2023. According to the article, both of them have been diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder, which I don't even know what to say.
We'll do our fairest here. Okay, everyone's got to have their day in court. We kind of broke it down here into 3 parts of the accusations and stuff. But the first part of the accusations that they're giving that we kind of broke down here is one of the students' issue is that she raised her hand to bring up a comment, but she wasn't called on. I'm quoting the article. I am not, unless the article's wrong, which you can talk to Boise Dev, that is one of the bases that the plaintiffs are arguing as a form of discrimination, that the professor did not choose them when they raised their hand.
How dare he?
We're serious. Serious, yes. Very serious.
Yeah, this is a very serious problem. Gosh.
And the question I would pose to that is, what do you... If it was so necessary, I would say walk up to the professor. It'd be a different thing if you told me, well, I raised my hand in class. He didn't pick me. Okay, fine. I went up to the professor and told him, and then he told me to shut up about it. I'm like, well, okay, then. Now you've got my attention a little bit more. You don't have it. I mean, you have it to a certain degree, but the second kind of accusation that they're giving is a racial incident centered around ignorant or off-colored remarks made by students, key element there, and not the university. So alleging that there was certain racist things going on or whatever, and that it was off-color comment or gossip that was racist based. I don't know. Also, this was done by students, so I don't know why they're suing the university for gossip that students had, which is kind of like private and free speech type of thing. So I would say they should have more gone after the certain students that were gossiping and not the university would be my kind of shtick on that. Am I really crazy, John?
No, I think you're on the right track. I mean, truly, the response I want to give is just dismissing nonsense, and that's what this feels like. It feels like people who are looking for reasons that they can be mad. That's what it feels like. Now,
or I'm a victim.
Right. It seems like, it feels like to me, victimhood mentality at its best, or worst, depending on how you want to call it. Trying to be charitable. So for the first part, the first issue that was brought up is she was raising her hand and wasn't being called upon. If this was like a continual thing And when she brought it up with the professor said, yeah, I don't call upon you because you're black and I don't like you because you're black. Well, okay, maybe that's an issue. If it was like a one-time thing, what are we doing here? If it was like there were 30 people that were raising their hands and she was one of the 29 that didn't get called upon, okay, cool. Like that's not a reason. So even being the most charitable possible and being like, well, he asked a question, maybe she was the only person that raised her hand and he was like, well, since no one wants to talk about this, we'll move on. And she's like, oh, I'm so offended. Like maybe she went to talk to him and then the professor's like, yeah, I don't call upon you because you're a black LGBTQ, whatever. Okay, I could see the university should step in to adjudicate that issue because that sounds like an issue and it should be dealt with. I have a hard time believing that's what this is, but okay, if that's an issue, then that's an issue and it should be dealt with. I don't know what the punishment would be. Probably.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking as well. We have in our notes here, what would the university even do? With the hand raising, I don't think you can do any punishment because either you sit there and tell the professor, you always have to accept her when she raises her hand, which then that's not good. And then there's no solution for that. The second part, I could see where the university could give some reprimands or things. I don't know.
It would have to be centered around the professor because the professor was breaking school policy with this student. And if the professor is breaking school policy, okay, I can see grounds for there being issues. If the school has a policy about, I don't know, fairly treating people when you ask questions and they raise their hand, then great. If you broke a policy, you broke a policy. That's understandable. So I guess that's where I fall on this first issue.
I mean, I think that's fair sense. You're kind of diverting over and saying, well, school policy, if the school is committed, right, it's come into a commitment, a promise with the student of this is the way we're going to treat the people who are academically here. I think that's also fair. But I guess on the third point, which is the one I think that has the most grounds, the plaintiffs claim that a student physically attacked them at a party for being gay. The school issued a non-contact order between the parties, but kept them in the same class. This is the only one I could see some grounds for the lawsuit in.
If this is an event that actually happened, then yes, it would hold sway. The problem that I see with this is potentially that, or maybe the reason they only went as far as they did is because they don't have enough information to do anything else. Because again, in this country, you're innocent until proven guilty, and so if no evidence has come forward to say, look, this is a thing that really happened, here's the cell phone video, here are 3 other people who are corroborating the story, then what are we doing? Like, there's only but so far you can go when you're just going on the word of one person saying a bad thing happened. How many incidents have happened within the last 10 years following the Me Too movement where things have been blown wildly out of proportion and innocent people have been hurt in disproportionate and unfathomable ways because someone lied about them.
Right.
You have just going off the top of my head, you have the Duke lacrosse team and you have Mattress Girl. Both of those things where people presumed guilt where there was none and people's lives were ruined. And so looking at this, sure, maybe someone physically attacked them at a party for being gay. Then again, maybe the gay guy was coming on to the other one and was told to stop and didn't, and so he got punched in the face. Like, I don't know. At that point, you could say, yeah, he tried to kiss me, so I punched him. Therefore, the gay guy's like, well, he punched me because I'm gay. No, he punched you because you tried to kiss him and he said, please don't kiss me. And then you kissed him anyway, so you got punched. So what actually happened? But that's the game that gets played here is, oh, I was attacked. See, I got punched and here's the video of it. Here's the little snip of this guy punching me. So again, I don't know the details.
Right.
And so again, like what do you expect the university to do if you don't have any standing, which is why this needs to be adjudicated.
Right. And also, I would say a key element in that is that the lawsuit is aimed at the university, not the individual that you said assaulted you. There's a big problem there. Why are you going after the university rather than the individual you said assaulted? I see a discrepancy with where you're putting the blame.
Yeah.
You're going to blame the institution for a guy at a party not on university grounds hitting you?
Well, I realize we might be dancing around this, but who has more money?
That is also a consideration in America that must be done with the utmost delicateness.
Well, if you're going to sue someone, probably you want money out of them. If you're suing a poor college student, what money can you possibly get out of him? But if you sue the school, there's a lot more money.
Granted, I don't think he's going to get any... They, I guess. And another point on this I didn't have in here, but that they said originally they didn't press charges or this lawsuit or whatever, right? Because they were fearful that they wouldn't be able to transfer their credits because the school would be unfair or discriminate against them because of the past actions or whatever else or different things that happen with colleges, right? Which I would say the least likely place to discriminate in America and is most likely to actually be preferential to your cause as a gay person or LGBTQ is the university. It's like you even have a better time for them treating you well than even the state. The only better one would be if you lived in Washington, D.C., then yes, I think you'll be safer with the state on that one, trying to be buddies with them as a gay person.
Yeah, this story screams to me that it's people whose feelings got hurt, and now they want the law to come after the people that hurt them.
Yes, but in any case, I hope the courts justly and rightly divide the law and apply it, and that everyone gets their day in court, both the university and those involved. At the end of the day, here at Local Yokel, we want justice to happen. If they truly... someone assaulted them on that grounds. That's unacceptable. That shouldn't happen. But, in any case, we'll move on to our next story that's a little bit of a lighter note and keeping with Idaho's roots.